Back here with Steven Jackson, and we finally got to it. Stack, we're talking Lakers-Suns Game 5, and Nick is going to stick around this time. We talk about it. Lakers without Anthony Davis, subsequently without any offense. They couldn't hit a shot, as LeBron would say after the game. Suns seizing the opportunity. 30-point halftime lead, 30-point win. How about that? The only dark spot for Phoenix, Chris Paul re-injured that shoulder, and he had to leave the game. But the Lakers lost, and they now sit on the brink of a first-round exit. Here's LeBron after the game.
I don't know. We got our ass kicked. I mean, it's just that simple. They got to whatever they wanted to get to in this game, and we got to be better, obviously, if we want to force a Game 7. So, obviously, a lot to learn from in this game, a lot to cover. See, what we got to do better going into Game 6. But they pretty much just kicked our ass. I mean, there's nothing else really to say.
All right, Steven, I can't wait to get your take on it. Do you think last night's game was more about what the Suns did or what the Lakers didn't do?
Everything is not rocket science. They didn't have AD, and that's what it all boils down to. They're a totally different team without Anthony Davis. We all knew that Phoenix was going to come out feeling good. They're at home. They're going to knock down shots, and they're going to make shots at home. But not having Anthony Davis is a big missing piece to them. But this is the biggest thing, and I know they're regretting it now. You should have appreciated Montrezl Harrell from the beginning of the season. You should have been playing him so when Anthony Davis does go down, because he's injured a lot.
That's interesting.
His confidence will still be high. But now they're suffering from treating him like crap and not playing him and not giving him the minutes he deserves all year. He was the sixth man of the year last year. He didn't come to the Lakers to not play. So now you need him. Now his mental is not right. So, and that's how players are. They did a bad job of handling him, and it's coming back to haunt him now because we all know AD is injury prone.
Well, they wanted Andre Drummond, and they wanted to run with Andre Drummond and AD side by side. That's the problem, Nick. You've been talking about that. You got to get Andre Drummond off the court and move AD to the 5. But here's the deal: I'm not going to crush Nick. Nick's been doubling down on this Lakers thing, and he had an easy out when AD went down. And here's what I want to talk about with you, Stack. All right, while we have you here, you got AD. He's been inconsistent all year when he's been healthy. He's been dealing with health issues all year. This is a guy that can go down just like that. You just don't know. He's a tender guy. He's real sensitive. What happens in the locker room, in the NBA locker room, when you're dealing with a guy like this with so much on the locker room? Are you guys looking at him? Are you trying to cheer him on? What is the approach to a guy like this? What's going through LeBron's head?
Well, as basketball players, we understand it's the difference between not caring and injury. AD cares. AD wants to help this team. That's not in question. But you can't really blame him from injury. Injury happens. Some of the guys that I love to watch play, that I love to compete against, careers ended short. And some guys I looked up to, Jonathan Bender, Brandon Roy, and they have no control over that. So. You got to be careful with that, man, because he's one of your best players. You just came off a championship. You know what he means to your team, and you know what he can do. But injuries are sometimes out of your hands.
Well, I think Stack brings up a bunch of really interesting points. And they all kind of tie to, big picture-wise, this Lakers team doesn't know who its best 8 are. And last night, I thought they were just going to say, okay, the old model, put LeBron on the court with guys that'll space the court, let him try to drive and kick. And when they even tried that, non-LeBron Lakers were 6 of 25 from 3. They still can't hit a damn shot. But you knew they weren't going to try that when the starting lineup was announced, and it was 5 guys who not only have never started together, those 5 human beings have never played 1 minute of NBA basketball on the court together. It was baffling that that's what you're going to start a Game 5 with. Now, it wouldn't have mattered what the starting lineup was once you saw after the opening 2 minutes that the Suns were the more intense team, the more focused team, the sharper team, all of the above. Listen, LeBron was not very good. Everyone else on the Lakers was truly awful. Schroeder scored 0. KCP scored 0. Obviously, AD wasn't even there. The whole thing was a total abject disaster. The silver lining for the Lakers is this. It was their 3rd loss. and the next game is in Los Angeles. And we will see if Anthony Davis plays, if he doesn't. And we will see if Anthony Davis doesn't, if LeBron still has, or if the injury is going to deprive him of it, that extra gear to get to. Because while LeBron was okay to bad last night, it also was not a season on the line intensity level you would have expected. And I think that's in part because this season wasn't on the line. And so all of the above combined to create just a horrendous performance by everyone involved, coaches, players, everybody. And it's why the Suns were up 30 at halftime. And Jen, I think a lot of America tuned to Blazers Nuggets to watch actually a super compelling game late into the evening last night.
I do want to bring up one thing we saw last night with about 5 minutes left to play. You saw LeBron exit, starting to head for the locker room. I mean, the game was long over at this point, but still, he wasn't there when the game ended. Steven, I'll ask you, what'd you make of that?
Me knowing LeBron, I wouldn't dare say he went to the locker room being a sore loser. We know LeBron's beat up. Me not being there, I'm going to say he went there to get start treatment. But to me, that team didn't look confident before the game. But I think he walked up to get treatment. I don't think he walked up to be a cancer. I don't think he walked up to put the attention on him or to belittle his teammates. I think he went in to start his treatment and to get focused on the next game.
Jack, Stack, I love you. All right. You know, you're a real one. I love the show. But, bro, no, he wasn't supposed to do this. We killed Tom Brady when he didn't shake Nick Foles' hand on after Thursday night football game. After Thursday night football. And now we killed Cam Newton. So we got to do it to LeBron. All right. LeBron James, he did it in 2009 Eastern Conference Finals. Dwight Howard drops 42 points. He walks off. 2018 against the Warriors. So, Nick, you talked about Tom Brady being a baby. Maybe LeBron James is showing us that he's a baby because he's not used to losing. You talked about it yesterday. Oh, LeBron James never loses in the first round. It's never happened. At the end of a series. I understand you don't shake hands, but it's 5 minutes. He left. I understand that, Nick, but he walked into the locker room before the game was over. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
we don't do that.
With Anthony Davis, they both did. They both went there to go. They both went there to go get treatment. He lasted. By the way, LeBron lasted. He left with 5 minutes. Well, no, we are because it is noteworthy that they both left. We, of course, only talk about the LeBron part of it, but AD was on the bench, and then they both went to the locker room.
Charles Barkley called him street clothes AD.
LeBron left with
Charles Barkley last night at halftime called him street clothes AD.
Yeah, I know, he called him street clothes. But he was on the bench, and then he left.
So,
yeah, I heard the joke. But LeBron left with 5 minutes left in the fourth. I left with 12 minutes left in the fourth. LeBron made it 7 minutes longer than me. I said, I am out of here. This game is over. I'm going to watch Nuggets Blazers and prepare for tomorrow. Wild. What? The question is, like when Brandon brings up the comp between football players, that is a question about showing sportsmanship to your competition, right? I think the question of when you leave the bench when your team is still playing, it's about, are you selling your team out? Are you know what I mean? Are you leaving your teammates out to dry? Because the NBA playoffs, you have the pleasantries with the opposition at the end of a series, not after game 5 when it's 3-2. So to me, it's very simple. Does anybody actually think LeBron is a bad teammate? Does anybody actually think he's leaving his teammates out to dry? If not, then I will take his word and Anthony Davis's word. They went in to get treatment. They didn't want to be there. Nobody wanted to be there. They left. I don't think his teammates are mad at him about it. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. The LeBron bad teammate. Jack's got something.
I got my finger up like I'm in church when I'm getting ready to go to the bathroom in church. Listen. One thing about it, bro. We know LeBron's not a bad teammate, but one thing we do know, he's a champion. And people always try to critique the star players, but newsflash, star players do what they want. He's not the first one to do it. The camera's just on him. I've been on teams where star players on my teams walked off, and it's not because of their sore loser. Might be treatment, it might be other things, but I'm telling you, when you're the star player on any team, you can do what you want, and that's just what it is.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sure he went back and got treatment. I have no issue with it at all because I'm a bailout type of guy. I'm reading a book. This book's no good. I'm out of here. Hey, the movies, I don't like this movie. See you later. Hey, your birthday party is kind of like has peaked. I'm gone. I'm out of there. So I'm okay with LeBron saying, you know what? We're down 36 at one point. I'm gone. Now, if I think it's good leadership to send a message to not only everyone else, like, hey, hit your shots. Hey, Andre Drummond, don't bounce the ball off my shin. Hey, Frank Vogel, put a lineup out there that makes sense. But if he's legit just going back, being like, oh, shoot, treatment. Oh, I got to go back. I don't buy that. I buy that he is sending a message to the players and the team. I don't think it's just like, oh, is the trainer available right now? Looks like I should go back. My ankle's tweaked up.
Well, yeah, obviously he doesn't.
Time.
Obviously, Brand.
I'll be mad
obviously,
at
he doesn't walk off. Hold on. Obviously, if it's if it's a close game, well, he would still be. Let's say he fouled out and it was a close game, so he can't go back in. Obviously, in that circumstance, he doesn't leave the bench area. But Brandon, I just want to ask Brandon, like, is this something as a player that actually bothers you, or do you just think it's like LeBron might be getting part of a pass when other guys wouldn't? Like, or are you actually bothered by it?
What bothers me is how we're talking about it, because this is something that I would have done as a player, but I would have done it understanding that the next day the media would have crushed me.